What's up, guys? My name is Khan and we're back today with more Railroads Online, and today we are doing another continuation episode straight from where we left off. We are going to deliver rails and what is this? Rails and raw iron straight to the freight depot. We're gonna go sell them just because we delivered 40 iron ore and got 40 rails and 40 raw iron, so we're gonna bring them straight to the freight depot. We've got our Heisler train on the other side here with our empty iron cars, so we got to bring that back to the freight depot and figure out what we need to pick up. So let's just take a look here real quick in the menu if we jump in and see what cars carry what. So this is log and steel pipe, that's useless. Raw iron, rail, and beam. Okay, so it's basically the same cars we need to do the lumber plank delivery. So we'll grab our train of 12 cars, bring it, load it up, and we'll be good to go. So pretty much just gotta start driving this train back up. Shouldn't be a big deal. 100%, 0, I don't know, 55% reg. Let's go. Now, I'm hoping the Heisler can actually go up. It's a 3% grade from the smelter all the way back up to the sawmill, and then, of course, to the freight depot. So it shouldn't be too big a deal. You know, it's not doing any of the gnarly 6%. But I hear the iron stuff is really heavy, so hopefully this train can pull 12 cars of it. If not, we'll have to split the train in two and then bring it up in smaller chunks. But I think we'll be fine. I actually should have checked too. I didn't check. Maybe we'll do it on the way back. How much cordwood we used? I assume it's 1-to-1. So 1 cordwood for every 1 iron gives you 1 of each product. This game seems to like 1-to-1 ratios, which makes sense. It's kind of easy to do. And that way, if someone brings like only 1 piece, you can still do something with it. And then, of course, we're gonna have to redo this whole section of track down here. I really want to change up this. I kind of want to put a line next to this for storing these iron cars. For example, it's super inefficient for us to bring these all the way back up to the freight depot because realistically, they'll only ever fill up at the iron mine and come down here. All right, starting to climb up. Starts at 3% here, it ends at 3% when we get out of the valley. We're gonna have to stop at the Y section, flip the switches over, go back to the freight depot, because we did last come from the iron mine, so it shouldn't be too big a deal. I love how the Heisler just doesn't even care. It just, you set the reg, and it's as slow on ground as it is on this hill, because it's just a gear train. Like, it doesn't even notice that you're going up a hill, but it also doesn't exactly pick up a whole ton of speed either, so we'll have to do some high-speed trains at some point. Maybe the Class 70, which is like the biggest standard locomotive, I guess. It's maybe got some speed and pulling power, but it seems like the standard locomotives all kind of bog down on hills versus the other ones. But when we start doing stuff like oil and that sort of thing, the standard locomotives will probably shine because I'm pretty sure the oil and those other facilities like the oil fields, refinery, etc. are on relatively flat ground compared to the starting freight depot. And that'll probably be, you know, where those engines are used, whereas the gear engines like the Heisler and the Climax, we're probably gonna have to use for all the iron mine, smelter, coal mine nonsense just because of how steep we're gonna have to make sections of track. Here's the first switch. We're gonna have to change this. I'm not too worried about this engine being stopped, to be honest. We should just keep it going, but let's change this switch over here. Gotta go right, and then we gotta change this switch as well on that bridge to also go up. And then these will be perfect because coming down will be going the same way, so it should be no problem. All right, so starting on a hill, 52% reg. Yeah, it doesn't even care. This is only 3%. Honestly, this train doesn't really care about 3%. Perfect. We are gonna run out of fuel here, but we do have fire temp still. We're at 400 fire temp, so it will take a while for that fire temp to come down, but it should be enough for us to get back, honestly, to the freight depot, and then we'll just make sure we fill up there. Still got tons of logs in the log pile, so I'm not exactly concerned about that. I really hope that you know, maybe there's going to be something like this in the future, but I really hope there's a faster way to load firewood, because I've got the firewood depot at the freight thing, and obviously that's, you know, it's great, but you have to sit there and like pick up 5 logs and then throw them over and pick up 5 logs and throw them over. And even if your train is parked right next to the firewood depot, it's still a very time-consuming process. So hopefully the devs think of a way where you can load wood from the firewood depot much quicker, or maybe there already is a way and I'm just too stupid to know what it is. But yeah, that would definitely be an improvement, because with the Betsy it's like whatever, it's not that big a deal. But with this thing holds a lot of logs, and when it gets down to 0, we're just gonna have to sit there for like 10 minutes just doing nothing but shuttling logs back and forth until it, you know, completely fills up. So again, not a huge problem. It's not the end of the world, it's just time consuming. And obviously, it is more realistic to have it individually grabbing and throwing logs, because that's what you would do, but it would be nice if there was like a crane or something. You just click and it would load like 20 or 30 or 50 logs at a time or something. I mean, then you'd run into the issue of it loads excess, blah, 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 but I mean, you know, that's your own problem, I guess. To be honest, I haven't really had an issue having firewood. Even since the new firewood depot update, I very rarely have to go back and fill up the firewood depot. Like, a few logs goes a long way in terms of how much firewood you get, so it's really not that big a deal to have to go and get a few more. And you get paid, too, when you deliver wood to the firewood depot, so it's always worth it. Alright, when we get up to this flat section here, I'm going to actually switch and drive in first person, because I know there's a couple switches at the freight depot we're going to have to flick around. And it's a little easier if you can just slow the train down and have it drive in first person. So we're going to get out here, flip the brake off. Full forward is good. Regulator at like, I don't know, probably don't even need 50%. Let's go like 30%. It's probably all you need. How are we doing on fire? It looks cold. It's not good. Let's throw in some more. Yeah, let's just get right in there. That work? Looks like it worked. Throw in a little bit more as well. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes how much fuel you've got going. We got tons of water, which is perfect. Excellent. Now we just gotta ride it all the way back. Actually, we can probably just stand back here, and we just gotta ride it all the way back to the freight depot. Now there's definitely gonna be that one switch at the freight depot we're gonna have to flick so that it can go into the return line. We can drop off the coal cars right away, or the iron ore cars. And then we'll pick up the 12 that we dropped off last episode and go fill it up. Now, 12 cars, I don't know how much of each gets stored on a car, but we have 80 materials down below, 40 of each. So I'm assuming 12 cars will probably take the majority of it. Like, assuming they go the same way as beams and 3 per car, 12 cars would only be 36 out of the 80 we have down there. If it goes as much as planks, it could be 72, which would be 6 per car. I honestly don't know. Like, they look pretty big. I would assume the rail pieces are probably the same as beams, like 3 per car or something, but just much, much heavier. So, you know, hopefully this train will do it. But to be honest, I mean, I think the Heisler is really, it's kind of the go-to train for just ultimate performance. All right, passing the lumber mill. I think it's like, what, Pine Valley Lumber Co. or something like that? Isn't that what it's called? Pine Valley Lumber Co. What's up, Pine Valley? All right, here we go. Keep going. These switches should all be good. Nice, nice drive we got going on here. I feel like Betsy's actually faster than this train. I think this has got to be max speed, and I'm pretty sure Betsy can just outrun this thing no problem. It's kind of crazy. But, you know, again, the gear trains are geared, so they've got lots of torque and not a lot of speed. All right, we're coming to the final straight. This is where I gotta flick a switch. Way up here. Oh God, I don't even know what's going on. Oh, hello. We're just inside the train. Okay. Weird. Oh, we barely outrun this. All right, it'll be fine. But yeah, up at the end of this, we gotta flick one switch to the right. We're just gonna outrun the train, and then we gotta flick the other switch to the left to make sure we go in on the one side. I definitely want to double track this section, I think all the way to the sawmill, because I feel like at some point when we have more people running trains on the server, this chunk of track is going to be widely used, and you don't want to have to wait, you know, all the way at the end of the section for someone else to clear it, so this is probably going to need to be a double-tracked part regardless. Alright, our train's still coming. So basically, we gotta always come in at the further lines. We gotta flick this one back, and then we gotta flick this one in. And that should be good to go. Like this. Perfect. And then as soon as our train passes this switch, we can flick it back to go out, so we don't have to worry about setting it again. Should probably actually slow this train down a little bit. Just hop on board, drop the reg. There we go, like 14%. Perfect. Wait till it drives past. Flick all these guys over. Oh, what? What? You were way past that. Are you serious? That's so stupid. It was so far past the switch, and it just lost that. Oh, okay, well, we could re-rail that. That's not a big deal. I can't believe that, though. We were so far past the switch, like the actual switch mechanism. But I think because it was still on, like, the switch, like, piece, it thinks that it flipped over, but that makes no sense. We were way past that switch mechanism. All right, we're hooked back up and moving. All the switches are good. So we just got to park this in one of the lanes. Trying to think which lane I want to put it. You know what? Let's put it in that really small lane because it's the 4-car train. It's not going to expand for a while because we don't have enough iron to pick up anyway. So let's put it in the smallest lane we have on the shunt line, which is just that tiny little outside one. Because honestly, we don't really have any other super small trains. I guess unless the 6-car cordwood train would fit out there, but let's go straight through these 10 lanes. We'll leave the cordwood car there for now. It's crazy. I love having all this shunting space. I definitely want more though. Like I really do want more shunt space. I might even take these 5 lines here and just expand them out. I'm pretty sure we could expand them. We could bring it both back so that the first switch is closer to the freight depot. Not much closer because you only have so much room with the sign, but we could bring it back so they go out more. And then we could also make them longer, I think, until basically we hit the mountain. As long as we have enough room to curve it before the mountain, I think we're good, but... Or, you know, we make more lines coming out this way. I'm not sure. I definitely want more shunt space, though. I'm, like, addicted to having shunt space, even though I don't even have trains to fill it all yet. All right, so we're going to just actually hop out here. Let's turn the brake off. Put the reg on at, like, I don't know, 20%, something like that. Let you auto drive. We're going to get over here and get our shunt set up. So it's going to loop through there. We need it to come up this way, through that. And then we need it to come up through this one as well. And this one, it's already set. Perfect. And then you need to get up into this tiny lane over here. And that'll put it onto this outside lane, which should be perfect for 4 cars. Probably actually, yeah, probably 6 cars. I should really just put the cordwood on this. The cordwood is only going to be 6 cars like ever until I figure out a better way to park it at the smelter. Because right now with the smelter, you can only unload 3 at a time. And you have to like unload 3 and disconnect the train. And it's a real pain in the butt, to be perfectly honest. So the cordwood train is really only going to stay as 6 cars. So maybe that's where it should park. But anyway, for now, we'll put the iron train there. Not really a big deal. Of course, we got to flick all these switches. And that one, perfect. Now let's go get our train. We need to put more fuel in. We are losing fire temp. Oh yeah, this lane is huge. It's great. We could fit a ton of stuff in this. That's perfect. Alright, so let's apply some brake. Done. Let's put in some firewood. Just to make sure. Excellent. And then let's apply the brakes to all these cars. Just so, again, we don't have any runaways accidentally. It is flat ground. I mean, you know, it should be fine, but just in case. There we go. All right, now let's unhitch our big boy engine here. And let's get going out of this chunk of track. Wonderful. Then we gotta back into that second lane and pick up the 12 plank cars. Just gotta slowly back her in. Let's kill the reg. Probably apply a little bit of brake. Shouldn't be going that fast. This engine's got a lot of weight to it, so I don't accidentally, you know... Alright, that's perfect. All the cars have brakes on too, so it's really, you know, you're not going to go very far. There we go. And now we got to turn all the brakes off. And then we should be good to go with this train, which is going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see how much money this makes. I'm going to check right before we sell it all, just to make sure we get the exact count of how much money we're selling it all for. I'm thinking we're going to do probably a mix of rails and iron bars, half and half. But we'll be able to tell how much each one sells for. Right, you know, we can check partway through and see. I don't actually know. I've never actually looked up, you know, the prices for stuff. I'm assuming it's more than the wood. If it's not, then, like, what the heck? But I would assume with the amount of time and effort it takes to get the iron stuff that it's got to be worth more than the wood, so. I think we're good to go. We got fire, yes. We got fire temp. We got water level, perfect. All right, let's go. Full reverser, no brake, some reg. Excellent. Can already tell there's a big difference between carrying 4 cars and 12. But I think this train should make it up the hill. I mean, it's 3%. You know, should be fine, right? 3% hill, 12 cars. It has a bit of a run up too. And I mean, it's kind of a big boy gear train, so you would think it'd be able to do it. Actually, I'm gonna have to drive this in manual for just a second. We're gonna set that to like 25%, 28% reg, whatever. Just because I want to flick this switch right when we pass, which I kind of always do this, and it's nice so that when you come back in, you don't have to worry about jumping out and flicking this switch. I didn't do it last time, obviously, which is why we had to, you know, flick this switch and have that derailing moment beforehand, but usually this is how I like to do it. I just kind of wait here. As soon as the train completely passes, I'll just flick this switch, then jump on the back car and run all the way to the front of the train. And there's enough of a straight section here, you don't really ever have to worry about the train hitting anything, so it's easy enough to do. All right, flick that over. Excellent, nothing's derailed. And then we get back up to the front of our train, and now we should be good to go all the way to the smelter and all the way back. Like, all the switches should be set in both directions, so that'll be perfect. Except for the one switch at the smelter, which is the loop switch, but that's, you know, easy enough to set when we're loading up the cargo. Hello, Pine Valley Lumber Co. again. How are you? Yeah, got no logs. I know, we'll get on that. We need to do some log deliveries. She's a bit shy. We did some plank deliveries, although I think it's still got planks and beams, but yeah, it's a little shy on the old logs. Needs some more logs. I also got to rearrange all this nonsense. This is not a very good setup for more than one person. If you have multiple trains, this is just gonna become a huge traffic jam. And I also want to make some shunt space here for more of these plank car trains, because I feel like you need plank cars to deliver to the iron mine, and then you need plank cars to bring stuff from the smelter to other locations. So we're gonna need a lot of these plank cars. Like, we have 12 now, but we're gonna need like another 12 for someone else to run a train, and you know, and then we'll need probably, I'm assuming, more for other things. There were like 4 things that these cars hold, I'm pretty sure, so gonna need a lot more stuff. All right, back at the top of the hill, reg to 0. Just let her coast. Honestly, I don't know how much brake we're gonna need to apply, but let's just see what happens if we don't give it any brake for a bit until it gets dangerously out of control. I know it's pretty gradual through the first section. I don't know how fast we're gonna get by the time we hit the Y section, which is where it kind of has to like do a little bit of snaking back and forth. I feel like the Heisler is top heavy too. Like, it looks top heavy. How? Oh god. We're doing good. We're good. We're good. Let's just let's give it a little bit of brake here. 30%. Yeah, that corner. Look at that. It was almost up on 2 wheels. Like, no thanks. No thanks. That corner's a little too steep. Let's keep her at nice 25% brake. Losing air brake pressure. 23%. Perfect. Back up. Yeah, that one corner's nuts. It actually, like, this engine I think is way too top heavy to take high-speed track. Which is fine. It's not meant to take high-speed track. You just gotta be really careful going down the hills. Because otherwise it's just gonna pick up way too much speed. Probably go down to like 8% brake. There we go. Perfect. The whole train's still attached. That's a good sign. Excellent. And then the final little stretch. This section I'm really happy with because it is just a constant 3%. So it's relatively gradual. I feel like a regular train could probably pull this without all the heavy weight of the iron cars. Jeez, it almost tipped off the track there too. That corner's a little sharp. Probably fix that. There are some sharp corners here. I feel like this S-bend too would also flip it off. All right. Almost at the bottom here. It's gonna go straight through. Doesn't really matter. This is just a straight loop. Turn the brake right off. Why not? We'll coast right into the station. This will be perfect. Okay. So we'll start with the beams, I guess, and then we'll go on to the iron bars. Like I said, I'm gonna try and load up half and half, but I don't actually know how much that is. We only have 40 of each, so I'm assuming half and half is enough. Let's get full brake here. And stop. Excellent. Let's put some fire in because we are losing fire temp. I want to be able to make sure we make it out of here. Alright, let's see what these load up as. They look pretty small, to be honest, the rail sections. The iron bars look bigger. Oh boy, I bet you this is going to be like a 6 and 3 scenario again, where the iron bars are 3, and the iron beams or whatever, the rails are 6. Maybe even more. This looks like it could probably do like 8 even. I don't know, we'll find out. If that's the case, though, we're gonna burn through all of these. If it's 8, then we'll burn through all 40 on 5 cars. Because, like, that's you know, 8 times 5 is 40. It might be 8. There's no way it's just 3. Maybe it's 10 even. In which case, we'll use 4 cars and burn through it all. These ones have to be more. They're like the full length of a car, but these ones are half length. So it's 4. Oh boy. Stacks of 5. Good news is, wherever we need to transport rails to, we're gonna just be able to transport a ton in a very small amount of cars. It's 5. Holy, it's 6? So it'll be 10 total, at least. Let's see what happens. Is it gonna be just, I feel like it's 10, right? There's no way it's 12. Okay, yeah, it's 10. So it's gonna be 10 per car. So we'll load up 4 cars, take all the rails, might as well make as much money as we can. And then we'll load up the rest with beams, which I'm assuming would be like, I don't know, maybe 5 per car. They look like they're the same thickness of stacks, so probably 5 high, which actually means this ratio is going to be perfect again. We're going to chew through literally everything, because it'll be 4 cars of these, which is 40, and then it'll be 8 cars of those, and if those are 5, it'll also be 40, which means we'll literally burn through all that iron in one train. That's perfect. That's actually great. It means the ratios all make sense. 12 plank cars gives you 24 iron. You have to run that a bunch of times, and then, you know, you take your 12 plank cars and you turn it into a iron transporting train. All right, the last 2 rails are loading up. There they go. Excellent. I feel like this still isn't going to feel it. Yeah, it still doesn't even notice the weight. That's fantastic. All right, let's see how many beams we can get. So that's all 40 rails. That is literally the maximum rails we could have gotten from all the rails we had. I hope this sells for a lot. I hope this is enough to buy, like, some significant, you know, something significant. Maybe another engine so we can get more people running stuff. You know, get some people working for the company and actually making a lot more money. But I really hope this sells for a lot, because otherwise that would suck. We need to back up. All right, here we go. Let's see what the iron bar gives us. I'm assuming it's going to load up in 5s. That would make sense to me. All right. If it's 5s, this is actually the perfect train. If it's like 4 or something, then that really sucks in terms of ratio between the beams and the rails or whatever, the iron bars and the rails. But I think this is going to be 5. It looks like it might actually be 4. It seems like the spacing is a little bit... It's only 3? I just burned through 2 pieces of iron for no reason? Oh, are you serious? Wow, that looks like it should be 4. Alright, well, it's only 3. I mean, we're gonna have enough iron to fill the whole train, but that sucks. I just burned through 2 pieces of iron for nothing. Well, good to know for the future. Don't overload it. But dang, I could have sworn that was gonna be 4. It doesn't even look like the trailer's completely full yet. Like, you could have much more space on that car. Like, really? Could definitely fit more on that car. Oh, well, 3 it is. That's fine. So we got 32 iron left, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. So it's only going to be another 18. But that'll be perfect. I can't believe it. That looks so empty. It looks, honestly, you should be able to get a 4th on there. But clearly you can't. Must be a weight thing. These cars all have a weight limit, only 7,000 pound weight limit. So I guess it's a weight thing. The iron bars must be a lot heavier than the rails or something. All right, these are the last 2 pieces. Perfect, train is fully loaded. And all the switches should be set to go straight down to the freight depot. So let's just get in and see if we can move. I mean, it hasn't had any struggle getting going on this flat ground. So as long as it can do that... Oh, we got no fire. Okay, let's put the fuel in the fire. Get that fired up. Make sure we really fill that up. Should be good. I don't... Ooh, does it max out at 80? Is that actually what's happening? Oh, it does. 6. So I've been burning fuel. It's 10 per log, so it only needs 8 logs. So I've actually been throwing in 10 every time, and that's clearly too much. 6. So I've actually been wasting fuel. All right, I think we're good to go, though. So 100% reverser, brake 0. And we're gonna give it 45% reg to start. You know what, let's just go 59%. Might as well give it all it's got. Make sure we make it. Looks good though, good looking train. Should be fine, I hope. And then we'll check right before we sell it. We'll see how much money we have and see how much this all sells for. But we'll do it one car at a time. It's 40 iron, so we'll do all that and see how much it is. And we'll be able to check pretty quickly. I hope this sells for a lot. I'm hoping we make, you know, $1,000 plus on this. I think we made about $700 selling the 40 raw iron, so I'm hoping this makes at least that much, if not more. But honestly, I have no idea. Well, first I hope that we can actually climb at 3% with this fully loaded train. It kind of looks heavy, but I feel like the Heisler can do it. If any train's gonna do it, it's the Heisler. Or like 6 Betsy's. Six Betsy's I feel like can do just about anything in this game. Alright, we're not moving very quick, but it is a gear train, so this is pretty much our max speed. We're about to hit the hill. Alright, so now we're at 3% forever. Okay. It doesn't... So far, so good. Cars aren't all on the 3% yet. Okay, now they all are. And I don't think it notices. Wow. That's actually amazing. This thing's a beast. It literally is a beast. It doesn't even care. It's like 3%. We could probably even back down the reg a little bit. I'm not going to. I like leaving it at pretty much the max it can go, but, you know, that's insane how much of a beast this thing is. Alright, well, we're on our way now. The last hope turns out to be the best hope. Honestly, this thing's a monster. I should have just bought like 20 of these from the get-go. It's great too, because it's got such like huge amount of water and tender space. I haven't filled it up with fuel once yet. Like I haven't had to restock the wood. And I've only filled it up with water once in the very beginning when I bought it. And now maybe after this trip I'll fill it up again. But we still have 2,000 out of 5,000, so it's still got tons of water. But it's just a beast. It doesn't even care. And the hill doesn't get any steeper, so we're gonna have no problem making it back to the freight depot. Alright, here we are at the Y section. Maybe. Perfect. Thought it was slipping there a little bit, but I guess I was crazy. This thing is awesome. It's so slow, though. Honestly, it's so slow. I should try and figure out... Maybe the Class 70 paired with, like, a Eureka or something could get a good top speed and good power. I'm not sure. I should really buy the Class 70, though. It's, like, the biggest of the standard locomotives. The speed difference of the Class 70, if it can make it up this hill with this kind of load, it might make these trips a lot faster, which, you know, obviously is more dollars per hour. This thing is pretty awesome, though. I mean, it is one of the best engines, if not... I mean, I think it's the best engine in the game in terms of actual pulling power. I don't think anything could touch this in terms of pulling power. In terms of speed, that's a whole other question, but pulling power, I feel like this engine's got it in the bag. I wonder what's going to happen, too, if the devs get the regulator issue fixed out with the wheel spin, because then, you know, this thing at 100% reg, I don't think it goes any faster. It just has more... like more torque per stroke, right? We're only using like 60% of what it's got, because anything faster than that gives you, you know, the wheel slip of doom, right? Oh, 61, see, wheel slip of doom. There we go, 53. Even at 53%, it still pulls this whole load. That's crazy. Well, I'm really excited. I hope this sells for a ton. I really want to make some serious cash to buy more engines. Because the biggest thing holding me back now is, I guess, not enough engines to have more people running more trains. Alright, well, we made it out of that, no problem. We can probably back off the reg even more. Just so we don't burn through as much water. Probably doesn't even need 40%, to be honest, but made it out of the valley with no issue. It's kind of insane. Pulling a lot of iron. This should be a pretty good run. I can't believe we burned through 2 iron, though. That's unfortunate. I really wish they would tell you how much you could store per car before you did it. I mean, you know, you could, I guess, look it up somewhere. All right, back at the Pine Valley Lumber Co. with all our iron. This ain't for you, though. This is going to the freight depot. Pine Valley Lumber doesn't need iron. One thing I will say about these larger engines is you definitely burn through fire faster and water faster, but obviously, you know, water doesn't really cost you anything, so it's not really that big of a deal. You can just, go to a water tower and fill it up. But the fuel, it just takes time because you have to run some logs back to your firewood depot. But you do burn through fuel a lot faster on these big engines compared to something like Betsy. I feel like if you look at Betsy's stats in terms of like fuel efficiency, there's nothing that compares to Betsy's pulling power versus fuel consumption. And we finally made it. That was actually a pretty like effortless trip. I mean, this train, I'm shocked at how powerful this thing is. Now the question is, of course, how many cars can we put on this thing before it does bog down? Because there's going to be some point where it just has slip and can't actually pull it. But it seems like right now it can go up a 6% hill with 12 plank cars, or up a 3% hill fully loaded with iron, which is just insane. So I don't know what the limit is of this train. I'm sure someone knows, but either way, I don't really want to run cars longer than 12 anyway, like trains longer than 12 cars, because it just gets really hard to load the thing. You can't even see the cars at the back when you're trying to load it and align it to all the, stations and stuff. So we're going to coast in here. Should be perfect. Normally I would do kind of like the drive-by unload where, you have the train set at a really slow speed, and as the cars go by, you unload them. But we're going to load this one just, one at a time, very carefully, because I don't want to accidentally lose any of the product. And also I want to check very specifically how much money this is going to make. Okay, so we have $1,406, which means 10 of those. 24 to 42, so they sell for 18 a piece. That's pretty good. It's going to make a fair amount of money. 18 a piece. So these are each $180 train cars. So that's a lot. That's good. All right. Wait for them all to finish unloading. $180 in train cars times 4 train cars. So that's like what? 800 something? Is that right? 1,400 to 2126. So 1,406 or whatever. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's good money. All right. What do these sell for? 18 as well, same thing. Okay, so they both sell for 18. That's pretty good. I think the logs and stuff only sell for 10 or 12, so it's pretty good. We're up to 18. It's still not great, but you do make money when you sell the logs to the lumber mill, and then you make money when you sell the planks from the lumber mill to the iron mine, and then you make money when you sell the iron mine to the actual smelter, and then you make money when you sell the smelter products back to the freight depot. So that's a lot of transactions happening. So overall, you're making a whole ton more money by the time you get to this point where you actually have, the finished products unloading at the freight depot. All right, just one more to unload, and we're already up to $2,500. Yeah, the iron bars are not nearly worth as much. It's kind of like the beams with the plank situation. You only get 3 per car, so it kind of sucks, which means 3 per car at 18. Like, those cars are barely worth $50, which is rather unfortunate when you think about the fact that, the rail cars with 10 per are selling for $180 a piece. Perfect. $2,500. That's not bad. I mean, you gotta run more plank cars up to the iron mine, and then, make the iron loop. I feel like this kind of prompts me that the next thing I need to do is make the iron loop and make the iron mine a more seamless experience and get much more stuff up to the iron mine so we can get much more raw iron down to the smelter and make just a ton more money really fast. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. It was definitely a good run. It's good to know how much this stuff costs, but we're still super broke, and I want to get a second Heisler because I think if we have 2, that'll just be great for whoever else is joining the server and helping us run trains. And I want to get the Climax as well. I'll probably get a Climax next instead of the Heisler, just because the Climax is the same price. It's a little bit smaller, but it's still a gear train, so it probably will have no issues doing the iron mine runs and stuff like that. But definitely need to expand the route to the iron mine to make it a simpler way and not have to go backwards down the whole thing. It's so sketchy to me to go backwards. It seems like it's a lot more valuable to have your engine in front. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure, of course, you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.